Big salute, big salute, big salute, big salute. Mm, 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 Big salute to all my loved ones, support goons, support squad. Big brother now. Make sure y'all go register. Trapflix.com. 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 And tune in, tap in with me. Still got trap coins on deck. They selling. So make sure you invest in your trap coins. All the details is in the description below. So y'all make sure y'all tune in, tap in with your boy. Big salute to all my righteous revolutionaries. Everybody that's going hard for the revolution. Everybody that's tuned in to the revolution, everybody that's supporting the revolution. So big salute to all y'all, my righteous revolutionaries. So I'm coming to y'all with another one. I need y'all reaction because ain't nobody talking about this. I guess this J Prince, Amigos, all this bullshit going on with the hip hop industry is throwing people off from the real problem is why you can't prosper in life. Is why you can't be independent. So don't let that J Prince, Migos, the deaths, and all, rest in peace, take off. Rest in peace to all the soldiers that has lost their life in these past 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Because there's so many. It's so many. But we get that more attention to being independent and flourishing. And then the people that's being independent and flourishing, they are still being terrorized. So ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed, y'all Black American slaves. Yeah, you still a Black American slave. Yeah, you in mental bondage. Yeah, they got you right where they want you. Where's all the steppers and the hitters at? Why can't they come out and help protect the people? So anyway, let's jump straight into it. Yeah, something I know because ain't nobody talking about this. Ain't nobody talking about this. So let's bring it to the light. Let's bring it to the light. Oh, for YouTube, StreamYard, this is for entertainment purposes only. Entertainment and educational purposes only. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. Let's go.
Are you sick of having issues with your webinars, wasting tons of time on troubleshooting with attendees?
Tonight, Fox 31 trying to get to the bottom of a viral controversy in El Paso County involving a black rancher claiming to be terrorized by his white neighbors and others in the predominantly white neighborhood.
The allegations involve trespassing, vandalism, racial slurs, brandishing weapons, and animal cruelty. And the story taking another twist yesterday when that...
This ain't nothing new. It's still happening. But America, they live in a lie. Want you to think you own something. And as soon as you own something, they gonna come take your shit. And what you gonna do about it? Nothing but cry. Go cry in the car. You ain't gonna shoot nothing. You ain't gonna bust nothing.
That rancher was arrested.
Fox 31's Talia Cunningham's been working this story for weeks now. Joins us now with what she's been learning from both sides tonight. Talia.
Well, Erica, Jeremy, Courtney Mallory and his wife, Nicole, were displaced in Hurricane Harvey, moving to El Paso County to start a new life. So their American dream quickly turned into a nightmare for them.
Oh, you think you live in the American dream, huh? Yeah, the American mother nightmare. Yep, that's what we live. That's what black people in America living. The motherfucker American nightmare. For generations, ain't nothing changed.
Telling me they've been harassed, chased, had their animals mutilated, and even more. Things escalating in recent weeks as they become more vocal online. So I talked to Courtney about 3 weeks ago before he was arrested, and he told me that he feared for his life. Now, we do want to warn you at home that some of this content may be considered graphic.
I'm being arrested.
Early Monday morning, Courtney Mallory was taken into custody.
Farming while black in America.
The rancher's story, one that's taken over social media.
We don't want to become a hashtag.
Nicole, a Marine, and her husband bought Freedom Acres Ranch in 2020. The couple claiming they face repeated acts of domestic terrorism by white residents on their own property. They say their dogs have been poisoned. Numerous farm animals have been slaughtered and gutted. Residents have been trespassing on their land, running over fence posts, burning their Black Lives Matter flags, spray painting racial slurs on their land, even waving guns at them. Photos show unknown.
Come on, Black America, my Black Americans. The best country in the world, supposed to be. Come on. Somebody talk to me. Come on, somebody talk to me, please.
vehicles blocking the couple's property.
Where Black Lives Matter at, huh? Where they at? Huh? Where my black militias at? Why y'all ain't out here protecting folk? Huh? Where y'all at? Such a shame.
And parking on their land. Even social media posts inquiring about pitchforks and fire sticks.
Lynching us, bringing a lynching mob, having a public hanging, fire. They wanted to lock us in and set us ablaze.
Mallory said they've called the sheriff's office countless times over the last 2 years, but have gotten no action or thorough investigation.
Because the sheriff name is part of it. I see what just happened in Memphis. Some more organized black on black crime. See, they don't send the white boys no more. They send the niggas to get they send the black mans to get black mans now. Yeah, they send the black mans to get black mans in America now. Yeah, America is the worst place in the world for black folk. Yeah, for all my Africans, brothers and sisters that want to go to America, this is what you got to deal with.
It is in fact El Paso County Sheriff's Office that is the main reason that we do not feel safe on our property.
The sheriff's office says they've investigated 19 different.
Yeah, not my people right here. I'm laughing in the people's face that think America, that's listening to the lies of the white man, that's believing these lies of the white man, and they ready to get to America, only to get there to find out, oh, they lied to me.
Complaints and have responded to over 170 calls for service at Freedom Acres. In a statement, they claim the office vehemently denies all these.
So you complain, you call who you supposed to call, you do the right thing. And look what happened.
Allegations.
We're watching. The world is watching. Get it right.
Now a coalition pushing for social justice and the couple's safety, including the NAACP.
That's ridiculous. At the end of the day, law enforcement should show up for everyone.
The National Association of Real Estate Brokers.
This is a direct violation of the Fair Housing Act.
And the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Colorado Holiday Commission.
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
Courtney was arrested yesterday, charged with stalking, petty theft, and tampering with the utility meter. His wife charged with the same crimes. Now she paid a $2,000 bond and was released. However, Courtney was not.
It looks like a bait and switch.
Oh, and my African brothers and sisters talk about corruption. Look at this American corruption. You pay your money to get out of jail. Yeah, wifey can go, but no, that man got to stay. Yeah, they got their money, but he must stay. Come on, my African brothers and sisters, do you still think it's greener pastures on the other side? Because if the pastures were greener, then a lot of us won't be trying to get away. And then you got a lot of Black Americans that their mind is still in chains. They don't even know they slaves. They don't even realize it.
Activists and concerned citizens demanding answers last night, gathering at the detention center, conducting their own welfare check. Courtney appeared before a judge today, and his bond was increased to $6,000 and was paid for by the NAACP.
Woo! And they talk about African corruption. Ooh, you ain't seen American corruption, baby. Ooh, they take your money and then tell you we want more. Woo-wee! And people got nothing to complain about African corruption. Boy, I'll take African corruption over American corruption any time of day, baby. Any time of day.
He should be out of jail at this hour.
And I actually just received a text. Courtney is, in fact, out of jail tonight. We've also learned that his neighbor was arrested last year for violating a restraining order that he took out against her.
So y'all see what's going on, man? It ain't stopped. It's still going on. And this is the beginning for these folk. It's just the beginning. It's just getting started. They not going to give up on these folk until they take their land away. Until they take their land away. Let's see if I can bring y'all something else real quick. Let's see if I can bring y'all something else real quick. Talk about this Atlantic slave trade. I seen my brother talking about the Indians. No. Y'all, the Indians got traded in the middle. after most of them got killed off from the first pilgrims. So they came and you know, the slave trade started getting documented in 1492, but it was happening before 1492. Yeah. Let's see what they
Make the leap.
Yes.
Bring what you do online with GoDaddy. Whatever your thing is, we've got the right domain for you. Search the largest selection.
Indians. Yeah, they were slave trade.
That I have no soul, that I'm a beast. Brand me, burn
Part of
me,
slave trade.
whatever,
You know, they got
and no
really
recourse.
had some
Nothing.
Portuguese involved in them, but you gotta remember, Portuguese,
The
Spanish,
history of humanity
French, and
is
the
filled with
British.
oppression, dominance, war,
You got
and
4
slavery.
different groups.
Since the beginning of time, people in different parts of the
Put them
world
all together.
have forced their fellow humans
Put
into
them all
slavery.
together. They had the
The
whole
tale of
world.
the Atlantic slave trade is the history of millions of Africans who were forced out of their communities by European slave traders and shipped across the Atlantic in conditions of great cruelty. When Portugal and Spain started conquering and establishing colonies in the New World in the early 1500s, they forcefully made the Indians work their plantations. However, European diseases and the violence of conquest led to the death of many of the Indian slaves. This led to a labor shortage in Europe and made the Europeans look towards Africa for a solution. As voyages to Africa progressed, and with many expeditions by Portuguese and Spanish explorers, Africa became a major source of supply of slaves to Europe.
Yeah,
In the
after they
Spanish
killed
West
Indians,
Indies,
then they started
as well
bringing in more
as the
black.
Portuguese colonies in Brazil, the Indian slaves were gradually replaced by Africans. These
Yeah.
Africans were stripped of their identity and occupation. To refer to them as just slaves is incorrect, because before being captured by the European, many of them were farmers, merchants, soldiers, musicians, goldsmiths, blacksmiths, and many more. They were husbands, fathers, wives, children, and mothers. They had origins and heritage, but when the
So remember, after they killed the Indians with disease and pestilence, they was already bringing African slaves through. But once they killed off the Indians, because Indians were here, was in America, the Americas already, North and South America. And they started bringing in more and more Africans to replace the Indians that they killed, because the Indians was dying. You know, they all dead. Most of the Indians is dead. That's why you can't find no Indians too much nowhere. Where they at? But they want you to think that you was the Indians. Come on, y'all.
The Europeans came and took over their communities, they became captives and had to be boarded on large.
Research the Olmecs. Ain't nobody talking about the Olmecs were African explorers that landed in South America, that gave the Mayans, the Incas, and the Aztecs their civilization. So yeah, we was here already, but they killed the Indians off, y'all. That's in history. When the first Europeans landed, they had to kill them off.
Ships and taken to Europe. The European slavers dispersed them across the Americas and different parts of Europe. They were forced to lead lives under terrible conditions and face severe labor conditions. They were stripped and flogged and forced to work very long hours, often under terrible weather and health conditions. The transatlantic slave trade transported between 10 million and 12 million enslaved Black Africans across the Atlantic Ocean to the Americas. You might have heard of the triangular trade, right? And how Africa was a major part of this trade, although suffering economically, while the other two parts that made up the triangle enjoyed huge economic benefits. We'll get to that shortly. The first slave voyage from Africa to the Americas is believed to have sailed in 1526. But even before this period, Africans were bought as slaves directly from Europe, and even native inhabitants of America were also enslaved by European explorers. Before 1518, the Spanish monarchy didn't permit the transportation of African slaves from Africa, not due to a sense of moral value or humanity, but because they believed Africans were barbaric and that they would corrupt the European society and introduce pagan and non-Christian practices to the country. However, over the years, due to economic reasons, there was a U-turn in that decision, and on August 18, 1518, King Charles V granted a charter to Lorenzo de Gouravad to transport 4,000 slaves directly from Africa to the Spanish American colonies. Over
I pay
time,
attention.
King Charles changed the law
attention.
established by his
A lot.
grandparents
This
and
is
then
good.
permitted slaves to
Pay
be
attention.
brought into Spanish colonies in America from Africa on the condition that they would be converted to Christianity during their voyage across the Atlantic Ocean. With this new decree in place, there was an explosion in the number of slaves moved from Africa to America. There was an immediate expansion of the slave trade in the Western Hemisphere. European slave traders gathered and imprisoned the enslaved at forts on the African coast, and then brought them to the Americas. Generally, the European slave traders did not participate in the raids because their life expectancy in sub-Saharan Africa was less than a year due to the widespread malaria infection. So the majority of people that were transported in the transatlantic slave trade were people from Central and West Africa that were captured by other West Africans and sold to the Western European slave traders. The transatlantic slave trade was essential to the whole economics of the triangular trade route, and European colonies in America needed the supply of slaves for their plantations. Speaking of essential, it's essential for you to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. They don't want us sharing stories like this, but we're going to continue anyway with your support. The triangular trade. Now, let's dive a little deeper into what the triangular trade route was all about. The triangular trade route is simply the trade structure that operated across the Atlantic region. This triangular trade route across the Atlantic took goods from Europe to Africa. Some of the goods taken to Africa include arms, textiles, and wine. On the other side of the triangle was the movement of African slaves to the Americas and the West Indies. The last side of the triangle was the movement of raw materials such as sugar, coffee, tobacco, rice, and cotton produced on American plantations back to Europe. The triangle involved 3 continents, with Europe providing the capital, Africa providing the labor, and America providing the land and resources. There was always a supply to the European market. The story of the transatlantic slave trade involves the story of all people in the 3 continents, but most importantly, those involved in the Middle Passage voyage. The trade route that transported slaves is known as the Middle Passage. The voyage is
Yeah, you gotta put all of Europe together. When you talk about the slave trade, don't just put the Portuguese and the Spanish. And when they got greedy, that's when they started fighting each other. The Spanish-American War, the Spanish versus the French versus the English. That's when the kings and the queen, they started getting greedy amongst each other. So you gotta put them all together. You can't separate them. Gotta put all their asses together. Yeah, and you got to go back to the 1400s when they first invaded Africa, when they came against the Zulus. And matter of fact, we're going to come back with that. Yeah, when the British gave up on the American Revolution because Africa was more valuable than America. So they signed a deal with George Washington and them. Yeah, they signed the deal. France, Britain, Spanish, but they split up America. That's why New Orleans and Texas, you got your Geechee, your French, your Creoles and all them, Louisiana and all that, your French and your Spanish. Yeah, come on, y'all put this thing together. It ain't hard.
is often marked with a lot of difficulties and even death. Depending on the weather, the voyage could take about 3 to 6 months. The passage was so brutal that the ships not only lost the people being transported as slaves, but in some cases, the crew also lost their lives. The mortality rate for sailors on slave ships was approximately 20%. The ships had a particular design and varied in size and passenger capacity. The conditions of these ships were inhumane. The African slaves were locked up below the deck in cramped quarters and only had a little opportunity to be out in the sunlight, and they were forced to carry out certain enforced exercises in the form of dancing to ensure that they were healthy and in good posture when they get to Europe. Inside of these
Oh yeah, and we're gonna stop right there. Yeah, because I just want to give y'all a take. I want to make y'all want to go do some research. Yeah. I want to make y'all want to go do some more research. We don't need to be dwelling on the past, but the past is gonna tell us what's going on in the future. Yeah, because what's going on in the future right now, you see it. Same thing. Same thing. You get you some land, call yourself free, call yourself independent, got your title and deed. Ooh, if you get you a title and deed, that put a target on your back in America for the white man. For the white man. Well, I can't say the white man. I gotta say the powers that be. Majority of them are white, but yeah, put some target on your back, you know. So make sure you leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. What's the solutions? How can we solve this problem? Because in my mind, there's only one solution. In America, it's a motto on Fort Bragg down there in Fayetteville, big salute to Fayetteville. They got a big sign when you come into town to the military base, and it says, freedom is not free. Freedom is not free. Not in America, it ain't. It sure ain't. Nah, it sure ain't. So make sure y'all leave me y'all comments. Y'all like, share, subscribe, and share this. Yeah, share this. Share this information, because I don't see nobody on YouTube talking about what's going on with our brothers and sisters up there in Colorado. Ain't they ex-military? So where's they help? Where's they help, man? So come on, y'all. Tighten up. Tighten up. Tighten up. Love y'all, man. Prepare the best you can. Stay paranoid. Keep your eyes open.